Hey everyone, so I have this other video that one of my subscribers sent to me to share with you. It's really long, so I'm not going to be able to play all of it, but I'll try to play some parts of it. So I know how we talk about how white supremacists, how they try to hide the reality of the evilness that they've done. Like on the last video when I was telling you guys about the concentration camps that the freed black people were put into in the South. There's also numerous other concentration camps and death camps around the globe that Africans were put into. This video is going to kind of show you one of the death camps, I'll say, that was done in Germany years before the Holocaust or anything like that. So the reason why I constantly bring stories showing you the savage nature of the white supremacist terrorists is because we really have to change our mindset. We really do. We need to stop looking at them as individuals and saying, you know, some of them are nice and some of them, you know, aren't racist. We need to look at them as a whole and look at the stuff that they've done as a group. I don't call them global terrorists for nothing. They truly are global terrorists. And every day I learn something new and something different from reading books or watching videos of the depths of the evilness that they have done. And it's so disturbing. And some days I honestly can't even do a video because I just don't want to see, you know, some of the horrifying stuff that they've done. I don't watch the news, and I don't have mainstream television because every time you turn it on, there's all of this bad stuff that they're doing, and then you'll always hear them saying, well, even like just today, you know, I'm reading in my comments, and you have these white supremacist trolls talking about, oh, the crime in Chicago, and I can't. Some days I can't even handle, you know, reading one thing about them. I just can't, because I'm in my head trying to sort out, you know, what can be dealt with today, what I can do to help bring a stop to the white supremacist terrorism, you know, what I can do just as an individual myself. You know, when we look at ourselves as one person, we think, you know, there's not much that we can do. But for me, I have to, if there's a little thing that I can do, then I want to do that. But, you know, some days you need a little bit of a break, and I didn't think I was going to even be able to do a video tonight or today because I just was not having I wasn't in a mental space to do so for most of the day. So hopefully this video will be helpful in just kind of rescaping your mind, kind of help you to reevaluate your outlook on white supremacy, and just to see how far, you know, black people have come. And we have been attacked on every different level, every level possible we've been attacked on. And the fact that, you know, that we are still alive and that we're still, you know, we're doing our best to survive and to thrive and to, you know, to set goals and just to live up to just, I don't know, to do the best that we can do with what we're given. And, you know, we're very strong and we're very resilient. But white supremacy has really, really done so much damage to the Black community. I'm gonna try to play the video really quick. And I'm gonna have to stop it in certain spots because it's, you know, it's almost an hour long, and I'm not gonna be able to play that whole video. Plus, I don't know if, you know, BBC might have this copyrighted. So, but here, we'll play some of it and see what you guys think.
From deep within the dunes of Africa's Namib Desert, a terrible secret is beginning to emerge. These are the remains of victims of the world's first death camp. A place where thousands of Africans were exterminated by the German army 30 years before the Nazis came to power.
See, like, just that part makes, like, my body just feel this, like, sad vibration all over. And, like, I can't imagine, like, those are our people right there that were just thrown to the side and murdered and just forgotten like that. It's really sad, and it makes me feel really bad.
These remains have lain here forgotten for over 100 years, but this terrible place is not unique. Scattered across the world are the sites of the massacres and genocides of imperialism, where millions died in an aspect of colonial history that Europe often chooses to forget. These people were victims of the truth that lies behind the myth of the white man's burden. Throughout the 19th century, European scientists, writers, and philosophers developed ideas to justify the mass killings of the Age of Empire. These same theories went on to inspire some of the horrors and the savagery that would consume Europe in the 20th century.
Like, I get, like, that is really hard to look at. It's so hard to look at for me, but this is their truth. And the farther down we dig, the uglier it is, and the more horrific it is. Like, I don't see how human beings could do this to other human beings and then look for reasons to justify their monstrosities. For me, it makes me really wonder if they are human beings. And I mean, not that it would make too much of a difference. Either way, they're evil, white supremacist, savage, terrorist demons, and something has to be done. So I'm just gonna skip.
The 19th century was to end with the worst crimes of empire, but it
Michael, he knows Wilberforce, and he is aware that his future and his reputation depends on how he deals with this problem above all else. Now, he's already been warned in the late 1820s by the British government that the rapidly declining numbers suggests that these people might be exterminated. And were this to happen, it would be an indelible stain on the reputation of the British Empire, but by implication it would be disastrous for his career.
Governor Arthur set out to save the Aboriginals from the violence of the settlers, and to convince them of his good intentions, He produced a poster that was attached to trees in their homelands. It showed a fantasy of interracial unity.
Another way
The
of
poster
tricking
spoke of
black
British
people.
justice, promising equality before the law. The white killer of an Aboriginal would be hanged. If an Aboriginal killed a settler, he would be hanged. The poster also propagated the lie that the British wanted to integrate with the Aboriginals. It was both a fiction and a complete failure, because out in the bush, the killings on both sides continued.
No, and the thing is, I'm going to
The
post this
supposed
really quick.
savior of the Aboriginals.
The fact that, and I think I did a video on the Aborigines, but the thing is, they were trying to tell the Africans, the Aborigines, that, you know, if someone kills you, we're going to kill them, and showing them with that poster, we want to integrate, but the entire time they were killing them. People weren't being punished for killing them. Not only did they kill as many as they could, but then they went in and stole their children. Another thing that we need to think about, and this goes back into the whole sociopathic behavior, when they're not really concerned at the fact that they're taking lives of innocent people. They don't mind that they're killing, you know, fathers and mothers and children and spilling millions of people's blood. But they do care about their reputation and how they may look to other people. That's what's important. So let's make a bunch of lies and fantasies and just fabricate stories so that we look like we weren't that bad. It's here. We're gonna skip to about here.
Aboriginals was reduced to sketching out his plan for their future graves.
Frequently, he cries with the mourners. He weeps himself. He's so moved by their fate. But ultimately, he says, well, it is better that they die here, having learned the message of the Gospels, rather than be killed in the bush by the settlers. He finds a way to ease his own conscience, so that Robinson's own beliefs, you see, protect him against a full accounting of what he was partly responsible for.
Psychopathic behavior. Completely psychopathic. And again, you see they're bringing them this religion.
Lured to Flinders Island by the mid-1840s, around 260 were dead. Ginny, Manalagena.
So now I'm going to skip to where they're
had all succumbed.
Kind of talking about the genetic, I think.
Truganini was one of the few survivors. She lived on, growing into old age. When she finally died in 1876, she was regarded by some as being the last full-blooded Tasmanian.
Oh, this was
a people whose story could be traced back 10,000 years had, within the span of a single lifetime, been almost exterminated.
If this is not terrorism, I don't know what is. When you go into, you know, a country and exterminate the entire population, to say we really have to just dissect these people's brains, we don't really even need to do that, because clearly looking at a little bit of their history tells you that they're psychopathic, they're sociopaths, they're evil, they have total disregard for human life. Like, there's just no way that we are one and the same. And I can't believe that we can possibly be the same. Like, we're not the same, because I can't I can't see any other group of people that are this diabolical and this evil and heartless. And there's no words made, honestly, to describe these people. There really isn't. I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead because yeah, the video is super long. And I'm gonna put the link in the description box.
Kept going. And the old anti-slavery societies kind of wrenched themselves back into action and mobilized themselves again. And all the ladies who've been doing it for decades, when the men have gone off and done more interesting things, you know, there they are with the machinery still in place that can be mobilized when you need to.
Their tactic was to put Governor Eyre on trial for mass murder. But in court, he was acquitted, due in part to a huge wave of popular support.
He had the whole of the House of Lords, parliamentarians, bishops, priests, the establishment, the aristocracy backing him, saying that it was justified.
I'm sorry for cutting it out right here, but you Christians need to hear this, okay? The church was backing him. The pastors were backing him. And that's the same thing with the white supremacists nowadays. They have the church, the bishop, the pastors all backing them. If they're backing something this atrocious and this evil, how can you follow them? How can you devote your entire existence and your kids' existence and their souls to these people? Like, that's what you're doing when you're praying to this white Jesus. Like, this, if he endorses this, the churches are endorsing the slaughtering of hundreds of thousands of Africans. And not just once, but constantly, consistently. During the entire slavery era in America, it was all backed by the churches. It was all anointed from the very churches that these people were praying at.
He was justified in imposing severe order in these people because that's the only language they could understand, because the black people were brutes.
Eyre's defense was orchestrated by the high priest of the new racism, Thomas Carlyle. But behind him stood many members of the British literary elite, all of whom made known their support for Governor Eyre and his actions at Morant Bay. The art critic and writer John Ruskin, the author of Vanity Fair, William Makepeace Thackeray, the Reverend Charles Kingsley, writer of the children's classic The Water Babies, and Charles Dickens, the most celebrated author of the century.
The notion of treating other people with some degree of justice and rule of law finally went out of the window and was demolished in the 1860s over Morant Bay. You know, from then on, we knew that the empire was about ruling people with a maximum degree of coercion.
What I want to say is, so since we see what they have done and we see what they will do, we can't sit here idly thinking that Donald Trump isn't up to something, you know, that they won't bring this back, that they won't try to enslave Black people again, because they will. They have no problem with it. Like, you need to think of what's stopping them from doing it right now. As soon as it benefits them more than it would harm them, then that's where we're at. We could very well be on the threshold of having another terrorist attack on us. We could truly be there. We could be right there, you know, days or weeks or months away from another extreme terrorist attack against Black people. And how are we going to defend ourselves? Like, where are we at right now? Do we even have the mindset to defend ourselves? Because I hear a lot of people that want to I think it's black people just, they don't want to be violent, and you know, you don't want to kill people, and you don't even want to let your mind go there, because it's so partly I think because we're just like not that kind of people. We're not genetically wired that way. But and then another reason I think it's like this religion has this hold that it's like, you know, the meek shall inherit the earth. So I'm just going to pray it out and hope to survive. And we really have to get out of that mindset, because you can't fight war with prayer. So you can fight war by fighting, and you can pray while you're fighting. If you're shooting a gun, you can pray and shoot at the same time. It's very doable. But if we don't change our mindset, and we don't come together and decide that we're going to stand our ground, this is what we're going to do if this happens, or when. Because I really don't think it's a matter of if. I really think it's a matter of when. Because if we look at history, and when we look at the way things are going, it's very, very possible that another terrorist attack will be coming, and we really have to prepare ourselves. These videos and watching the stuff that they've done to our ancestors and our people, it really helps your mindset change, because then you are no longer going to see them as your friends and your allies, but as your tormentors and your murderers and people that inflicted horrible pain and death and despair on our people. And that's truly what we need to look at them as. That's our only way of changing our brains to not see them in a way that we see ourselves, because we can't do that anymore. We can't look at them and say, oh, well, we're all red on the inside. It's skin color doesn't matter, because they're showing you on a global level that skin color is basically the only thing that matters. That's the main thing that matters right there. So either they know something that we don't know about our genetic makeup, whether we are the same or not, or we're just really focusing on the wrong thing, because they're showing us that your skin color is what's. We traveled the entire world killing people based on the fact that they were your skin color. So clearly that matters a lot. So we have to get that out of our mind. And then we really need to get this whole Christianity, prayer and forgiveness and being meek and being passive. We really need to let go of that. We have to let go of that, because that is really holding us back. And I think it's was put there by white supremacists for a reason. Okay, that's the one thing you guys have to realize. Everywhere they went, they brought this one little magic pill with them, which was Christianity. They brought it with them everywhere. And if it didn't stop them from committing genocide on all the people that they took it to, why would you think it's a good thing? Like, we can't focus on it and think it's a good thing and think it's our history and that, white people didn't do anything to the Bible. So it's a delusional mindset, and that delusion is going to get us killed again. Like, there's going to be more genocide. We're already enslaved. So anyone that thinks that they're not enslaved right now, need to look at the prison system. And as soon as you can look at the prison system, you'll realize that we're very much enslaved. So the slavery era is still there. The genocide can come back at any moment. Soon as that next terrorist attack could be genocide in America, wiping out Black people. And I don't want people to think that they won't do that, and that we're not there, that we've somehow put this stuff behind us, because we have not. We haven't. So I'm going to play a little bit more, and then I'm just going to wrap it up. I think we're going to talk about Darwin.
One writer compared the extermination of these races by white settlers as being like the melting of snow before the advancing rays of the sun. But the theory that was to have the most powerful impact upon race came not from the anatomists or the skull measurers, but from the work of one of the 19th century's greatest minds.
The Origin of Species really threw a bombshell, first of all into science. It really invented the science of biology, and then into religion and into society. And what Darwin did in some ways was to give an alibi for being a judge. If evolution had changed the races and the species of the world, why hadn't it done the same to humans?
Many believed that Darwin's laws had done just that. Natural selection, they claimed, neatly explained and justified the global expansion of the great British race.
Life favors a hierarchy of specialists. And you find that throughout the plant and the animal world. There are bugs on top of bugs on top of bugs, each one surviving at another's expense, each one filling a niche that another can't occupy. People, Darwin said, are the same way. They are expansive organisms. In other words, Englishmen are just like other organisms. They are successful because they are good at expanding.
Those who understood colonialism and human competition in terms of Darwin's theories became known as the social Darwinists. Men like the radical biologist Thomas Henry Huxley and the famous economist Herbert Spencer. And social Darwinism foresaw very different fates for the various races of mankind.
Evolution was in operation. It was advancing the most recently evolved, the most successfully evolved, that is the Northern Europeans, the British. But evolution also suggested that there had to be losers in this great cosmic process.
So if you think with Darwin's theory, if the Europeans really believed that they were the most advanced, they were the superior race, do you really think that they would have need to exterminate their competitors? Because I'm going to tell you, no, they wouldn't have. The only reason why you want to terminate your competitor is because they're just that, they're your competitor. So they have somehow pose a threat to you. And so, like, let's get them before they get us, kind of theory. I mean, I can't really truly get completely into their mindset because it's very twisted. It's just like wrong. There's no words. Like the stuff that they've done, the stuff that they do, the things that they say, the stuff that they believe is so twisted and like diabolical and evil, and you can't really believe that they had a mindset that they are the actual superior race. They couldn't have possibly believed that.
And the losers were those peoples who could not compete. And once put into competition with superior races, were doomed to disappear. And this was likely to happen to all the native peoples in North America, in the Pacific, and in Africa.
And if they truly believed that, then wouldn't they just have left those people alone, considering they were going to die off with evolution anyway? But now you hear them crying that diversity is killing them, that they're going to go extinct because of diversity. So they're telling you right now, you're seeing, if you put two and two together, that they knew for a fact that they were not the superior race, that they were inferior to any other races, and they could not stand side by side and win. They couldn't do that. That would not have worked. So they had to come up with this evil plan of, well, they're not thinking about killing us, so let's kill them first.
Across the world, the crimes of imperialism now came to be taken as proof that the social Darwinists were right.
And it's funny that they keep calling it imperialism. It's terrorism, okay? It's global terrorism.
In North America, centuries of disease and war had devastated the Native Americans.
No, white supremacist terrorism devastated the Native Americans.
Whole nations had been all but annihilated.
By white supremacist
In parts
terrorists.
of the Australian mainland, the peoples of the outback were, it seemed, going the same way as their cousins in Tasmania. And across Africa, the scramble for empire had brought the might of Europe to bear against innumerable peoples, killing literally millions.
Global terrorist. If you guys can come up with a better way to describe this, then please do. But there is no less than global terrorism. That's what they just explained right here. And they went around killing everyone with brown skin. From the Native Americans to the Tasmanians to the Africans, to the Indians or the Asian Indians. Same thing.
The social Darwinists predicted a future in which these races, like many animal species, would only be remembered as curios, stuffed exhibits in anthropological museums. The white man's burden and the Christian dream of benign imperialism were rendered obsolete.
Old missionaries who still talked about.
Now you see that now they're saying that this is they could see this happening. No, you were doing it. You were killing and committing genocide. And you won't learn it in any history textbook class, any history classes or their textbooks. Like they don't tell you the truth of what they've done. They want to cry Nazi Germany, oh poor Holocaust, but they don't want to tell you what they did before. This is what we did before the Holocaust. We don't need to hear about that. I just honestly, I can't even watch any more of this because it's just really messing up my psyche. So I'm going to end the video, this part of it, because I just can't anymore. But I will leave this in the link in the description box in case anybody wants to watch the entire video. And I honestly do suggest that people do watch the video. Because the more you learn about the people that you're up against, the better equipped you are to deal with them. The less sympathy you will feel when the time comes, because you'll know that you're doing it for your survival, and it won't be a fake lie, you'll know for a fact, because history shows you that these global terrorists will do nothing. They will stop at nothing to destroy Black people, and that's what they've shown, and that's just the truth of it. And right now, my mind is kind of dissecting what I just watched, because I actually didn't watch the whole video. I didn't watch it before I played it, because I watched a little bit of it, and then it was kind of stressing me out really bad. And so I usually like to watch the videos with you guys while I'm doing the video, so it's fresh. And but it does make it messes with my my psychological being, and so like my head starts getting hot inside, and like my ears start feeling clogged. It's really weird, but stress does just crazy things to your body. And so it takes me a while to kind of process what I watched, and then try to figure out, okay, well, where are we right now? We're not at a good place for Black people right now. We're really not. Like, honestly, for me, I'm like, any day Trump can sign an executive order for martial law, and then we're all locked up somewhere. And it's a reality, and that's the sucky thing. We need to realize that is the reality. All he has to do is sign. He's signing them every day, all day, signing these executive orders, and then that's all it takes. And so we have to prepare. And how do you truly prepare for something like that? Especially if you have children. What do you do? But we have to exercise our Second Amendment right. Take this time to learn how to use your weapons. Go to gun clubs, shooting ranges, whatever. Learn how to use your weapon. I saw a video on YouTube the other day about there's this Black gentleman and his friend, and they're at the Waffle House or something, and some white supremacists, a group of like 3 white supremacists, came up to them and being rude and loud, and he went to shake, one of the white supremacist dudes went to shake the Black guy's hand, and he's like, no, he just kind of backed up, and so the white dude punched him in the face. And it shows, he backs up, and there's 2 other white guys, and the Black dude, showed him he had a gun, and the white guy still came at him, and the Black guy shot the white supremacist 3 times, and so they ran out and got in their car. The white dude ended up dying, but the Black dude had his concealed carrier's permit. He was defending himself. Most states, you have the right to protect yourself, your livelihood, and that's what he did. And I want to see more stories like that, because if we prepare ourselves, I don't know what would have happened to this guy if he wasn't armed, if he didn't have a gun. And now those disgusting white supremacists, they can tell their next white supremacist friends, maybe it's not a good idea to just run up on the next Black guy that's minding his own business. Maybe we shouldn't do that. And so if we prepare ourselves like that, and make sure you're legit, because if they can find any way to prosecute you to the fullest extent, we live in white supremacy, so it's that's what's going to happen. But when it comes to protecting your life and dealing with white supremacy, you're going to have to do that anyway, so you might as well do both, and have your gun, and have your concealed weapons permit, and be legit and know how to use your weapon. Take safety courses or whatever. But we really, really, really have to prepare ourselves for what's, coming next. We have, 4 years with this disgusting clown, and as clowny as he can be, he's not funny. He's a dangerous person. He is dangerous for the Black community. And if we don't take that serious, we need to take that as seriously as anything else. Like any of those people that we just watched in that video, he is as bad and as dangerous as them. Because yes, he is a clown and he's loud and he's stupid, but he sure got into the White House and started signing executive orders and getting rid of laws that have been there in place for years. He didn't care. So take that and realize, what is he going to do next? He's not just going to sit down and twiddle his thumbs for the next 4 years. He'll do more stuff, more damaging stuff. And whether he calls another country to attack us, or if our country decides to invoke terrorist attacks upon the Black community, either way, we need to be ready to protect ourselves, and we need to be able to protect ourselves. And even more so, we need to be in the mindset to protect ourselves. Because if you sit there and someone's about to kill you, and you want to sit there in your brain and wonder and pray if you should, what should you be doing, then you're going to get killed. You're going to end, your life is going to end. So it's not really going to be beneficial to anyone. So we really, really, really need to get our minds straight and realize what we're up against, because that's war strategy 101, is knowing your opponent. And if we don't, right now we have a deluded fantasy about what the white community is capable of. Okay, we have this, maybe, those were the people in the past, and those were, those slave owners are only the great grandparents of the people that are here right now. They're pretty much the same. And so for us to sit there in this delusion because, we work with them and we go to school with them because, we're not segregated anymore. And so in order to have this perceived civilization, everyone has to have this passive aggressive, because these white people that walk around smiling in your face and trying to pretend that they're nice, they're smiling in your face while they're stabbing you in your back. Okay, because they will literally, if you guys watch the video that I played yesterday, these people will smile. They have smiles on their faces while they're being as evil as they can be. So we have to change our mindset and reprogram our brains to know what is our enemy and what isn't. Black on Black, we're not each other's enemy. We need to be each other's keepers, each other's protectors, each other's lawyers, advocates, and just be down for each other. If there's no other time that you are down for each other, this needs to be it. I don't care, about, what issues Black women have with Black men or Black men have with Black women. Those issues need to be put aside. You deal with those later. Right now we need to protect ourselves from white supremacy, and that's what we need to do. Okay, because you already know Donald Trump is talking about bringing in the National Guards into Chicago. So that right there is called martial law. So as soon as that starts, that means it's accepted. They opened the door, and now do you think they're going to close the door from there and be like, oh, well, Chicago's good, now let's just go on with our lives? That's not going to happen. So once that starts, whether it starts in Chicago or it starts in the South or up north, it's gonna spread. It's not gonna be this one thing, because we're gonna see way like a huge sweep of mass incarcerations. We're already seeing shootings and killings of Black men and Black boys already. It's at an epidemic, and I don't see it getting better. If someone can tell me, like, if you see maybe, you know, next year in December things are going to turn around because blah blah blah, and you see something I don't know, then I mean, that would be great to hear. But as of right now, we need to be preparing ourselves hardcore. I mean, think of the worst situation that you could possibly think of, and then prepare for that. It's stressful. I know it's stressful. It really is. It's hard. It's hard to even think of us being where we are in America. You know, from in high school, it seemed like everything was all, you know, fine and dandy and relaxed and stuff. And I feel like right now is the most tense in my entire life, that as a nation that we've been really, really tensed, and for good cause. But we have all these idiots that voted for Donald Trump. I still don't think Hillary Clinton would have done any better. I think white supremacists are like this. They're linked. They're together. They're one, and they're one. They are one, and it wouldn't have mattered. But I wish I could push some kind of pause button and sit this one out for the next 8 years and just see what happens. But unfortunately, we can't do that. We have to live every day and deal with it and see it. And so this is all I can do. Like, I can, you know, try to do these videos and bring you guys information, and, you know, I can learn, but while I'm trying to be a parent too, and thinking of, you know, it's always different when you have a child that you have to protect, because that always becomes number one. You know, that's number one on the list. And it's also it makes you more vulnerable, because now you have, you know, someone that could be used against you to hurt you or to render you helpless, pretty much. Because if, you know, if someone has your kid, you're gonna kind of have to, you know. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I will leave that link in the description box to the video that we're watching, and I do think that you guys should watch it. It's very interesting, and a lot of stuff that he's talking about with the Darwin's theory, and with the Tasmanians, I've already watched, but I'll probably watch the whole video maybe tomorrow when my brain is calmed back down. Because, like, honestly, I feel like my face is on fire. Like, it's that serious. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please share these videos. Share as much as you can. If that's the only thing that you do today to help the Black community, please just push that share button. Please like the video. I guess that's a good thing for Google or something. So you guys can please like the video, but please definitely share it. If not even for me, but just for Black people as a community, we need to get into some unison, and we need to, you know, start working together. And the more we educate ourselves, the better equipped we will be to fight this white supremacist terrorism and hopefully save a lot of lives. Okay? Thank you guys, and have a good night.